right, so you never quite know what is going to happen with Blackboard. So welcome to our session today, everyone. I am going to enable the webcam so it can kind of be like Miro a little bit. So up to 6 people can be on. I just set that. So if you would like to turn your webcam on, you can. And you can also pop out the box at the top, audio, video. You can slide it out. If you have 2 screens, it's probably easier, or you can adjust your screen, your size of your boxes there, and make the audio video a little bigger if you want to. So today we are talking about Unit 4. You guys are jumping in and doing great. I've seen some really good, the lab, calculating speed, I've seen some really good labs come in. So grading those as quickly as I can. So know that there's 125 of you guys in August, and when everyone turns something in on the day it's due, it's a lot, right? So luckily not every single person's on the same exact page, so some still haven't come in, but I usually get at least 75 on that assignment due date. So bear with me, I am definitely trying to get through those for you as quickly as I can. So we're going to jump in. Our motivation today, it says it's a slow process, but quitting won't speed it up. So that's a little bit how I feel about physics. Physics is not one of my favorite parts of science, and this is the beginning of it. So if you like physics, or if you did not like the chemistry and atoms and stuff, then you may really love jumping into the physics. And I am learning to enjoy it. It is basically like math. You have a lot of math. So if you're a math person, then this is definitely going to be a thing that you will enjoy. So just a reminder, I know, Sophia, I feel that way too. Sometimes I look at the formulas like, yeah, I'm going to have to think on that. So keep our chat focused. We want to be kind and appropriate. So remember, if what is going to be typed in isn't going to be nice and make someone smile, then probably you don't need to type it. And distracting chatters will be muted. So we are back in Blackboard. I had to think for a moment. So your individual chats can be turned off. So here we go. You guys know this slide well. Just remember not to share any personal information or post links or anything like that in the chat. So our objective today is to jump into Unit 4. We're going to talk about the things you guys have covered so far. I also want to make sure you have things in your notes. So if you're using the unit note guide, excellent. However, I encourage you in this unit to learn to start adding in sample problems that you will encounter with all those formulas that you will see. So every time you see a formula, write it down and write down the sample problem that you see on the lesson page. So with that, we're going to jump in with this quick video. You start hearing words like speed, velocity, acceleration. They all have formulas that go along with them, and they are all can be confusing because they're kind of the same and they're kind of not. So make sure in your notes that you are filling in a definition of each one so that you can differentiate between these words. That's really important. And let me see if this link will play. Actually, you know, I'm going to have to change it. 1 second. Let's see. Sorry. The Safe YouTube links changed. A different company bought them, and so now you have to go to get a new link, and that's what I have to share. So here we go. And I'll put it in chat.
Thanks for stopping by. I'm Virgil Ricks, and this is 2 Minute Classroom. Today we're talking about motion. Specifically, we're talking about speed, velocity, and acceleration. And let's clear up a few things right off the bat. First of all, speed and velocity are different, and acceleration is much more than just speeding up. Speed is the rate at which something changes its position. It's represented as distance over time. Miles per hour, kilometers per hour, meters per second, these are all examples of the units for speed. So if you're driving in your car at 72 miles per hour, then that's your speed. In fact, it's your instantaneous speed, or your speed in that exact.
All right, so hopefully that finished up for you, and he did give you some formulas there, so definitely make sure that you got those down in your notes. So just an idea, if you printed out the unit note guide, you could write on the back of the page or add in your own pages as well. So moving along, I'm going to enable the whiteboard tools. Remember, which you guys usually do not have an issue with this, don't scribble on the board, but write some of the words that you heard in the video on the board. So just in your head, think about what you heard, jot them down. This is just an exercise. Okay, so these aren't words, right? It's an exercise to help you get the vocabulary in your head. Wow, so you guys are similar to my sixth graders in some ways that we are drawing on the board. So vocabulary exercise for you, making sure that you are reading and participating, and we will head over to our next activity here. Yes, there is probably lag in Blackboard. That is one of its famous features, so sorry about that. But we want to talk about the things that you need to get out of the lesson in case you are struggling with content and not really sure how to beef up your notes or what maybe you should be including in your notes. So my page closed, so I'm going to grab that. Different kinds of motion. So the lesson started and introduced with you several types, right? We have translational, rotational, and vibrational. So 3 different types of motion that we're looking at. You'll definitely want to have a definition of each of those. Ryan, you have a question? You could put it in chat. That would be great. So I'm pulling up my screen to get these definitions for you so that we can take a look at them together. Just making sure that we have some words down that we need. All right, 1 second, I'm getting there for you. This is motion part 2. And if I screen share it, I think it gets blurry, and this is why I don't love using Blackboard that much. So share, hopefully you can see this. It might be a little blurry, so I'm going to help you read through. Translational, so the position of the marble, it's showing you examples in a little video. So I know sometimes you probably are trying to hurry and you skip through these. Oh, good. Glad it's not blurry. But this is showing you an example. So we can look and see the movement. You have point A, point B. Translational motion. It just means it's a change of position, point A to point B. Okay, so that can describe a lot of things. And then we can go on to look at rotational. So, right, like the Earth spinning. So that's when objects spin in place. You want that in your notes too. And then finally, vibrational motion. So let me show you an image of what it looks like. Okay, so we know, remember you learned in Unit 2 solid, liquid, gas, and you had the molecules and particles like packed together really tight or floating loosely. So that's kind of what we're talking about here in vibrational motion. And they are rapid back and forth movements of the kind found in particles that make up a substance. So you can remember that vibrational motion is kind of taking you back to the chemistry stuff. So hopefully you have a good definition for all three of those types of motion. And then we'll jump back on over here and look. Another thing that students usually struggle with is understanding the difference in distance and displacement. Okay, so those definitions, I would definitely write down. The first one is distance is how far an object travels. All right, how far an object travels. So you want that in your notes. Displacement is a little bit different. So it has to do with the direction. So it's how far it goes and the direction it's moved relative to the starting point. So here's an example with the marble. It says, you've got this up here. So let me see if I can share the screen again on that and get you guys an image so you can see the video that goes with it. I'm getting to that screen. 1 second. Okay, sharing again. Here it comes. All right. So this is probably going to be difficult to see. It's small for you maybe. Distance and it says displace. And that is so tiny, I would have to put my face very close to see it. But it's showing you something going there, so like it rolled to the end and came back. And so it says, consider the marble example in which the marble is rolled 6 units to the right and 6 units to the left. It goes a distance of 12 units because you would add those up, right? So yeah, you would have to look at this tiny box and we would play it again. The marble is basically rolling. Starts here, rolls, and goes back. So 12 units. However, the displacement on it, if you were calculating displacement, do you guys know what it would be? It says on the screen. Why would it be 0? Calculate the displacement. Why is it 0? What can you pull from the words on the screen? Anyone? Anyone? Exactly. Serenity said it. Andrew said it. It did move, but it's like it didn't move. You're right. So it's starting back at its starting point, right? It's back to its original place. Yes, you guys got it. Great. So you understand displacement well. Good job. Here is the formula for displacement. Remember, I told you you want all these formulas in your notes. One thing that you will see in this unit a lot, and as you go into physics, is the little symbol delta, and that just means a change in something. So in this case, the delta D means a change in direction. So the formula for displacement is D2 minus D1. Yep, delta. Triangle is delta. So you're subtracting the distances, and that's going to give you the change in the distance, which is the displacement. All right, so make sure you have that in your notes as well. All right, so we have a quizzes today instead of a Kahoot. We've played a lot of Kahoots, so I thought we might want a little bit of a change up. So let's get over to our game. Well, let me give you guys the link. Okay, it is coming. Well, let me get back to the game and share my screen with you guys. So even if you're not, this is like individual, play against yourself. So sometimes people like that a little bit better. So we wanted to just, shake it up a little bit. All right, here is the game, and the code is 531596. 531596. So jump in. There are 20 questions on this quizzes. All right, we've got 2 of you. Here we go. You can use your name or not. Fun name, happy name. It is not mandatory. It is just a practice. Like, nothing is mandatory. You can come to class or you can not. Or you can play the game or you can not. But just going through the questions is exposing you to some of the content that you have read, and it kind of tests to see, you know, how you're doing. Are you getting it? Exposing it to you again, putting it in your brain again. So benefits all the way around. All right, so we've got 8. I'll put the link in again. All right. Anybody else trying to get in? Can you guys hear my dog snoring in the background? Bye, Robbie. Okay, that's good. There is usually a lot of lag playing a game, but you can play and not look at the screen. You don't have to really do that to answer the questions, right? You guys see that on your own screen. You can minimize this. So that's one thing. Is that what most of you guys do? Minimize this screen and just read the questions as they come up on your screen to answer? Go to the, so Serenity just clicks on the other tab. Yeah, you don't have to stay on the live screen by any means. And I think you can do an app. There is a Quizzes app too. So if you ever want to download. All right, looks like we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and start. And I'm going to turn this strange music down. And while you guys are working on your questions and answers, I'm going to scroll through the questions for anybody that may be watching the recording, just so they can try to answer as well. And if you're not playing, you can scroll and watch these and try to guess as well. I turn my video off. That helps sometime with some lag. It looks like we're doing pretty good so far. Checking back in. We're getting more right than wrong, so that is always good. There is a little math involved on some of these. All right, going back to the top to see where we are. All right, looks like you guys are doing good. Getting close to the end. Wow, a couple of you have a really good streak.